Ka hihi, ka kori, ka puawai, ka whakaara e. Tōku hene ngaro hei whakamana ai. Ōku whakaaro ko te pauri tonu. Ko te pō te kore, ka tipu tonu mai te haiata ki te rāwhiti. Ka tū te ao, ka umere te ao. Ka piki te rā ki te rangiti hei wā. Mauri ora. A katua ke au te mihi, I runga I te whenua tapu nei. Ka mihi ake, ko whakairi ora te maunga, ko rangi korero te tūpuna pā, ko whangāmu, ko pimanu te moana, ko ngunguru te awa, ko te waiariki te hapu, ka tū whakamiharo ana I te mihi ki a koutou I tēnei wā, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Kia ora everyone, hello, I'm Ojasvin, Kingi Davis. We're here with my son Taimana.
Kia ora.
You all know Waimania. We're here on our ancestral land and we're very honoured and privileged to share with you at this moment in time. Nau mai haere mai whakatau mai, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hi, Taimana again. Here doing our third podcast with these two on up in their house up north. So yeah, let's jump back into it, eh?
Yeah, that's actually our second try. So, so you know, if we just repeat ourselves from last night that you haven't seen, please forgive us.
Yeah, we forgot to push the record button and we have to do everything naturally again. Twice. So.
But what you get today is some sunshine that we didn't have last night. So please enjoy. Behind you, the ocean. We're sitting under a beautiful tree. That's where we got married about 9 years ago.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just a very beautiful day. A little bit of wind, so I hope you don't mind, or we hope you don't mind. And the ocean in the background is that sound that you hear. So enjoy summer in Aotearoa on this beautiful beach.
Kia ora.
So I thought a good subject we should talk about, or could talk about, being the new year and new things happening, is maybe a reintroduction of the work you do. And because, I mean, for me, when people ask me, what does your dad do? I'm always like, you know, healing stuff over in Europe. He does the Haka. So I was thinking to give people a good idea of what is it when you bring these groups together overseas and in this country, what you're actually doing with them. What is your work?
Yeah, I think it's a clever way for you to explain to your friends what your dad is doing. Hey, just make some podcasts so they can watch it online.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Now, what do we do? I think it's a. Oh, there's somebody coming by car. How could we describe what we're doing?
I thought I was going to start off with, you know, we see that every human being has a special gift. It's like a purpose or a task, soul journey. And we've heard this calling and followed it, and it's developed as it's continuing to develop. And we're responding to this karanga, this calling that many people in the world have or are connecting with. And the big calling is that most humans, a lot of humans are feeling quite lonely, separated, stressed, a little bit lost or needing to find back their roots and needing to connect. So healing haka in our culture, you can label it like that, but when you do the haka, when you feel alive, you feel connected, you feel your ancestral roots, your land, it's naturally healing. So
yeah, and I find that I believe that human beings are born for a reason. We come here to planet Earth for a reason, and often we don't feel that anymore in our daily life because of the way our professions are set up. Like a lot of computer work, a lot of repetitive work that doesn't really make sense because somehow we never see the results of what we have created. And I believe for us to feel complete and satisfied, we do need to see results of what we do. We need to see that we make a difference to other people's lives. It's worthwhile to be here. And how do we produce that again? And like I believe a garden is something really rewarding, where you see your plants grow and where you can get your own food and you can take care of something and it's growing, and sometimes things die and you get through the process of letting go. So I believe that's a very good way to deal with it. But yeah, like not everybody has a garden, eh?
No.
But yeah, just that's what I feel, that we need to have the feeling of belonging and having a purpose and to...
So like in a typical, or say a weekend wānanga seminar that we have, we would create a pōwhiri ceremony, which is a welcoming ceremony, which is a normal thing in our culture. But when you take it to another country, another place in the world, this can impact a lot of people deeply. Some people are deeply touched because it's the first time they felt welcome to Earth. Their pregnancy, their birth might have been pretty rough. They had some difficult situations and they always never felt welcome in their whole life. And to suddenly get welcomed by pōwhiri in our ceremony, in our wānanga, some people have huge, profound experiences and they start to cry when they hongi and they start to make this real contact for the first time. And so then the process starts to happen, this whole healing, reconnecting process. And I'd like to say, I always sometimes say in our seminars, what's called you to us, what's brought us here together in time has been a co-creation. And we're following this calling, which is not a human calling. For me, it's a galactical alignment, you know. We are told by many ancient traditions that the planets are in special constellations, and you know, the whole solar system, Mother Earth, she's on a journey, she's on a path, and humanity's sort of gone on their own journey, and now they can feel this attraction and everything is wanting to line up again and reconnect. So we're all being guided by this inner impulse, and this is what our mahi is kind of following.
But like, what do we do? It's probably a bit hard to explain, eh? Or maybe not hard to explain. Like, I think it's quite simple. We dance, we sing, we meditate, we do very simple ceremony. But that doesn't describe really what we're doing, probably.
No, I wouldn't say.
But
it's a bit like nature, eh?
yeah,
it's
but I
very
think
simple.
the way we try to keep it simple, and out of simplicity, the complexity happens. Like, you know, the tree doesn't make a complicated turn before it grows out of its seed. It goes quite straight up and makes its roots, and So we try to keep things simple. We just sing beautiful songs that are touching, like kind of mantric to a certain extent, because we just sing about love and the wellspring of love and the source of all life and be welcomed on earth. And then also the haka that we dance, there's all different kind of haka. We have created, I think, 4 or 5 haka so far. There's the Urimara Matua, the first one that was written by you and your nana. Then there came Po Uira, that was written
by the
by the
whānau.
whānau. Then came Karanga Ayo, welcoming the new time, that was written after a beautiful song created by Shin.
Yes.
And then came the
Mu.
Muhaka, the beginning of the Muhaka, that we call Taramu. And that started, and then in between came Te Waka Ayo Haka.
It came out of one of our tours. So many of you who have met us around the world had the calling to come back home to Aotearoa and reconnect to this part of Mother Earth and reconnect to those aspects of yourself. Some new songs and some new haka come out of these tours.
And the Mu Haka is connecting to the ancient land, Mu, Turtle Island. And I was saying, Mu, you know, we Swiss, we really connected to that part of the moo, the cow. So we, and on my research, I came across the, the sacredness of the cow in India and how they worship her. And I heard that all the Celtic also came from India. So we must have a strong connection to India, the cow, the sacredness of the cow, and the moo, the Turtle Island, the sacred land. So I had this calling to write a prayer in German with all Mu words like Mutter, Mut, Muster. Mutter is the great mother, but we can reconnect that in Mut from the Egyptian.
Oh, wow.
And then Mut in German means to have courage, and Muster is a pattern. So those words gave us the base of that haka.
So that's probably giving you a glimpse that what we do is not only Maori. We're coming from enhancing the cosmic tradition, or bringing things more in a universal perspective, but using our Maori tikanga as an inspiration to help us connect with our potential. And her bringing her ancient reo, her magic language, from her traditional roots, we can find the vowels. All cultures, all languages use the vowels. And if you study like with Makuini Ruth Tai, a grandmother we respect and love very much, she speaks about the light language, and in our reo, with the magic syllables, you're creating different special forms and vibrations. Like Maori, the word Maori, we think it's discerning one culture from the other, but if you translate from the sound ma, meaning clear or light, and ori, meaning vibration, Maori means clear or pure, so pure, clear vibration. So if you're in harmony and clear vibration with your environment, you're Maori, or you're indigenous. So this is a whole nother perspective, and this is where we come from with healing haka. It's not a haka where you just amp yourself up to play rugby or amp yourself up to go to war. Of course you can use haka for this, but here we're helping people amp up to face their lives, to face some of their fears, to meet their historical trauma or their childhood trauma, because they've suddenly reached a place in their lives where they need help to overcome or to change or to transform. So we've been told now we're in a time of change. Now it's time for a lot of human beings to make that step and start to change.
Is that kind of what you wanted to hear?
Yeah, that's... and some.
And I mean, you had some experiences too, so, you know, like when you came to Knoxville, Tennessee, like, is there anything that we didn't mention that you would add?
Yeah, so my experience when I went to Knoxville, Tennessee, I mean, because I've had different experiences when you bring groups.
Yeah, the Waitangi Day.
Yeah, and going to the Navy base, and when you bring your tour groups here. But I guess it's just nice to see these people from all over the world, you say like a calling or are looking, I mean, it's advertises healing haka, so obviously people are looking for some healing, and it's cool to see like how much people change. So what do you think is the impact on someone, maybe over a seminar, over years of working with you guys is, and you know, how does haka, the actual physicality of, you know, what do you think that's doing to people?
Yeah, I think I really like that explanation of the Hawaiian shamanism, like the kahuna. They share that when you visualize something and you bring it into root and you bring it into action, you're actually manifesting. So that's what you do with haka. You have something that you have learned, for example the roots, and you bring them out of your mouth and you move at the same time. It's actually a manifestation. And so as those haka that we write or that have been written for our work are all healing, with healing words, so they're actually prayers. So when somebody dances this every day or over a period of time, like on a weekend, it actually impregnates your cells and the whole being, and you just, this positivity starts to sink into your being. So I believe that is helping on one level. Moving the body is always a great thing for getting rid of some anxiety and depression and things like this. It's the breath starts to go deeper and you become more in a rhythmic way in the breathing. All that is actually uplifting. Singing is uplifting your soul. Being together with others, sharing meals, laughing together is helping you to feel good. So all that is actually happening in our seminars.
Like for myself, you know, some of our ways of thinking or our behavior is so deeply ingrained. You know, you have to do it over and over again to make the change, you know. And with the haka and with all the, it's all become a tool. We give people tools to make the change, because you don't come to a healing haka of transformation and sit down and have a good time for the weekend and then go back home.
And that's done.
And that's done. You want to go home and implement what you've learned to make the change.
Yeah, because I say it's like the same as your house, you know. You don't clean your house once in your lifetime and then it stays clean. Like your house has to be cleaned regularly. It's like amazing how you can clean it and a day later it's all dusty again and has stuff everywhere. So that's kind of the same with a human being. You go to a seminar, you dust clean, but you have to maintain it. It's not done and dusted with one
and
time.
even the seminars aren't really easy either. It's not a holiday, is it?
No.
You must speak out of experience.
What did you experience?
I mean, maybe I'm used to it because I'm used to sleeping on a marae and helping with the cleanup, but you know, it sounds like a lot of people, and especially you guys, it's by the end of the seminar everyone's
Yeah.
burnt out because
I think
it's work, right?
it's work, it's engagement, and
I wouldn't call it burnt out.
No, like, what would you call it then?
I would say it's, I believe like when I look at people on a Sunday after a seminar,
Yeah.
they're all smiley and happy.
Yeah.
They're all like, when they arrive,
But I believe that about halfway through the seminar, you go through the deep stuff, you know, because you arrive and you're all excited, and then you start moving your body, and because of the whole storage of memory in your body, and you're touching upon those with the movement, all the stuff starts to come up. So because it feels like a safe space that you can let go, you let this come and you start working on your stuff, whatever is coming at that moment. So you're going through these processes and you feel like you're going through a washing machine. You're like all coming out, and then you know, Saturday night, Sunday morning you're probably feeling the worst, and then by Sunday afternoon before you go home you feel like, it's all over, I'm all nice and clean, hung out in the sun, dried and fresh again. So that's why I wouldn't call it burned out.
No, washed out.
Yeah, washed clean.
yeah, I mean, I want to honour, we like to honour those, what people, the whānau, the Haka healing family out there in the world who are engaging and training in their training groups. We really respect you because, you know, you're doing that work to make the transformations, and many of you have made huge changes, which is really awesome.
And I think that links to another thing that is very important. It's the rhythm, eh? You can't do something once, like playing an
Right,
instrument, you
yeah.
know? You play the guitar once a week and you think you're becoming a pro. You do something regularly again and again, and that's installing it into your body, and that's when it becomes successful. The same with a new way of living. You can't say, you know, I'm going to lose weight by eating one day a week a special diet, and then, you know, and it's not working because you haven't done it. The same with Haka, you know, if you want to have the healing effects, you have to do it regularly in rhythm again and again. And that really brings the effects. We were sharing about someone that had really done the Haka every day, and her life has changed and really changed. And when she realized that it had changed, she realized how much it had changed.
That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. But I believe it's also to do with this discipline. You know, she decided to do it every day and to go with it and just stick to it. And it gave her courage to face things that she would never face.
Yeah, like a lot of people tend to think we're quite strict, you know, because we have a real clear protocol.
Yeah.
But it's about clarity, because a lot of people in this modern day and age, they've learned how not to engage, and have this way of being where they do everything where it's convenient. And so they'll engage with the traditional values when it's convenient. But to live the teachings, it's a challenge to try and live these values every day, all the time. And so people come and they want to be free. And today, people think freedom is about escaping or getting out of everything and only engaging when it's convenient. But when we're about clarity, if we know the boundaries, then we're free. And for us, freedom is about responsibility. And this is also part of the teaching. You know, you're responsible to be a kaitiaki, or a guardian of this Haka. We don't want to, it's not a quick fix program where you come and pay for something and learn something really quickly and put the list on your fridge and tick it off. You know, it's something you have to engage, something you treasure, and you win mana out of the hard work that you have put into it. And this is what we love to see with many of our people who are engaging and winning that mana.
I just remembered the formation. You know, we have this this formation going, and it's now the last year. They're going to come back soon.
Cool.
They're going to arrive soon in New Zealand, and they have been they have been working so hard.
Yeah,
The first year we started with the virtues, which come from Montségur. Like Montségur, it's a part in the south of France.
Yeah.
And they had these very clear virtues about nobility and like how you hold yourself in those places. And when we started those virtues, the group, somebody remembered how it was. It was just going wild. Everybody was like, no, it's like this and like that and everybody wanted to say his version of it. And they remembered how terrible it was actually when we started working with them. And so I just didn't continue working. It became a task that they would choose every week or every month a new virtue.
Right.
And just work independently on it. And
so they didn't stick to the kaupapa.
What was that?
They didn't stick to the kaupapa, to the subject.
I think some chose to work with it and just did it quietly in their own life. And one time we asked them to write about an experience, how it was for them to work with that virtue for a while and what came out, and then we didn't ask them again. We just kept quiet, and then sometimes we joked, that's a virtue and that's a virtue. And my favorite virtue naturally is patience.
Yeah.
And and it's a very common favorite virtue because it's one that we can really work, because it's something quite hard. So and then when we did it again, we went through the whole program we did in the 3 years and repeated a few things, and I just wanted to check again on the virtues, if they understood and if there were questions. And we brought it up again, and what came out was magic.
Cool.
It was so beautiful. Everybody was so disciplined sitting there. And then we brought out a virtue, we explained it, and then some added what they experienced and how they saw it, and they just brought it out, and it was coming together so smooth and beautiful, eh? And everybody was like, oh, we have grown.
That's what we love. We love to grow with you all. We love to grow with people because something more happens. People, I don't know, I experience so many people today, they want something really quickly, they want something really fast, and it's more like the consumerism attitude to these teachings, and they just don't come together. And these teachings about growing with it, taking it in, making the changes, making the transformations, using that discipline and practicing the tikanga, actioning the tikanga, practicing the virtues. So this Hakarongo Aio formation for us, we didn't know it was going to go deep. We can go quite deep in a weekend, and for some people they have a huge, profound experience in one weekend. But for us it's just, touching the skin. But you can go much deeper and deeper within yourself and learn a lot more that's inside. And that's where we love, when you go deep with the whānau, something magic starts to happen, and you no longer feel alone. Even though you're in another reality, doing your work on yourself, oh, she's there and he's there, and we're together doing our own individual inner work, and that's a magic feeling.
So I was thinking, how does somebody end up doing this? How, like you talked about a calling before, but how did you start to do the healing haka, and what made you think it was a good idea?
Well, I was thinking, why did you think it was a good idea to do podcasts? There's something that flies into your mind, heart, stomach, wherever it flies into, and makes you think, oh, why don't we do that? And then you start something. And it's not like, oh yeah, if I do this, I will make money, and then I will do this. it's not a plan. It's
Yeah.
something that just comes like in the spur of a moment, and you're like, why don't we do this? And then you do it. It's like, I think it started like this, eh?
Yeah, like we would be called over to Mexico and we had no money, you know, and she's our financial managing brain of the whole thing.
And was a bit of financial
And
sponsor.
yeah, the sponsorer. And she's like, your ancestors, they know nothing about money. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. And, you know, and then we end up going and then things just happen, you know. People you meet and things just, the energies just comes together, and, you know, it's nothing that you could plan, and it's about following spirit.
It's not it's funny with those things, spiritual, you can't do a business plan like you do with a business. It just
Yeah.
doesn't work like that. It's like one time we went to Sedona, and then from Sedona we were called to go up to Sacramento. 14 hours car drive.
Whoa.
And we had already no money. The seminar in Sedona was not very full with 3 people. And we had no money to rent a car, so our dear friend Diane offered us her car, so we had a car to drive up there. So we drove 14 hours up there, and we got there, and she said, oh yeah, there's probably 12 people coming. So like, oh, okay, that, you know, makes it kind of worthwhile. And then she said the next morning, I'm sorry, Amma is close, you know, so everybody went to Amma and doesn't come. So I said, well, then tell us how many people are coming. 3 inclusive me. I'm like, oh, come on, we're not going.
She didn't want to get out of the car.
No, we were sitting in the car. I said, I'm not going, I'm on strike, I'm not going in, I'm not. And then finally we went in there, and this lovely man was there stoking the fire, you know, preparing the space, smiling at us like with this beautiful smile. I'm so happy to meet you. And then I think he said later he found the flyer in a food store or something like this, and just felt called. And he, like a few months later, he came all the way to New Zealand on our tour.
Wow.
And we still know him, and he's coming back this year on the next tour.
That's awesome.
So, you know, is it worthwhile or not? You know, can you say it's not worthwhile to do it for 3 people? It was worthwhile, because for that one person it was really worthwhile.
Yeah, we have so many stories like that. You think, are we crazy? Sometimes like, are we crazy? But then things just happen. And
So you have to run on trust and intuition and just follow your drive. Whatever is calling you, you have to do it.
I mean, that's part of our teachings too. We always speak about the kakano, the light seed, and you know, this light seed, some of the korero, or the traditional knowledge, this light seed doesn't come from earth, doesn't come from here. So the whakapapa, or the genealogy, is cosmic. But this is the part that connects into the body, into the whakapapa, into the genealogy of your ancestors, and this body. And when your life is finished, your body goes back to earth, but this little star continues. And this is the teachings where this little star, once you know, give over the ego and the personality and all who you think you are, from all the conditions from your upbringing, once you start coming over into the service of this divine being that lives forever, your life starts to change. You know, you're more engaging, helping the development or the extension of the universe.
I think there was something else that I really think is important, is the sacredness. You know, like this world is manifested in a sacred way. Like how a tree grows, it's just incredible, isn't it? And then you look at shells, like when you look at the building of the shell, one little thing after the other, and how they they build these magnificent little towers, and it's all in sacred geometry, and it makes you feel so, it just gives you something that opens your heart and your spirit. So I believe that this planet was actually built in such a way that you would just admire and open and be nourished by what you see. And then something happened, and it became more like the city life, and you shut down, so you don't get too much information and too hurt, and so, but it's making a human being really sad, because we are actually by nature beings that are open, that are curious, that want to learn, that want to see, that want to taste, want to do things. And by the way that we are living these days, it's just not possible. So we all have this calling somewhere to bring harmony, to bring beauty, to bring something to this world that we can contribute to leave to the next generations. Whether it's our own children or someone else's children, it doesn't matter. Just for the continuation on this planet, because I also believe we are coming back. So when I come back in the next cycle, I will find this planet in a beautiful state. But when we have to find opportunities to do this. And when we find this little thing inside that is doing like, hey, why don't you do this? It's like a calling, a memory. I came to this planet to follow something and then do it. And then when I have accomplished this, I feel like, now I can go back to the stars. And that's making us feel successful, complete, round. And so I believe sacredness in our daily life is a very important part. Even if it's the little acknowledgement of the food that we eat, the gratitude to the water that comes out of our tap, to the earth we are allowed to walk on, even if we drive a car, gratitude for the fuel that we are allowed to use. Anything that we can have and consume from this earth, if we give gratitude, it's circulating. It's different than just, I'm a human being and I can have whatever I want because I'm the superior being of the creation. It's in this case, I just give back at least my love, and therefore it circles something.
In the end of January, we have our next tour.
Our 9th tour.
Our 9th.
Oh no,
tour,
10th.
10th tour, and this tour is called Paurongo.
You were on the first tour.
Yes, bits of it.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I was on the whole one.
But you at least were at the wedding that was at the
Yeah,
end.
part of it. Remember you gave her the whittle on that piece.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, your conversation or your talking, your sharing made me think about the senses. For us, everything created on earth is an extension of the universe. So everything created on this planet has come from a higher intelligence or a high consciousness, a high intention. We call God, or Io, or many religions or cultures or belief systems have a name for this source. So we talked about the star being coming, incarnating into the substance, into the physical reality, and we receive information through our senses. Vision, smell, hearing, touching, tasting. So we spoke yesterday about, the healing of the Hakas, bringing you into the presence. And to be fully present is to have the senses fully open. And what's harsh today is we're so bombarded by advertising and other influences that are not aligned with this higher intention. People start to shut down their perception. And so with this tour, we would love to bring people to come to this another level of awareness, consciousness, where they can receive the messages through the nature, through these senses.
Yeah, I was thinking, you know, I really, when I came on Earth this time, I knew my biggest task was to experience life to the fullest.
Mm-hmm.
So it means, like, I mean, I also had a lot of other experiences. Like, I really tried, you know, getting drunk and listening to heavy metal music and to, you know, just to experience what this is all about. Because now I know why I don't like it. You know, why I don't like to just get wasted or whatever, because I had the experience. Because I feel there's something else that I can do. And but I really wanted to come into this physical reality. Because, like somebody said, I had psychic abilities and I could just, you know, learn how to guide people through past lifetimes and things like this. And I said, yeah, well, I know that I can do that, but I want to know how to live.
Just how to be human, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm here on this planet to be here and to have the full experience of being here.
Yeah. That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think what you're doing here is beautiful. I was just thinking of your friends, you know, I always felt like to share more with your friends, and I didn't really know how to do it. And I think this is a really good way to share knowledge.
You wanted to do it especially to keep the connection strong. Eh?
Well, when I don't remember how the conversation came up exactly, but because I've been looking into the way social media works. But yeah, I was thinking, you know, for you and for mainly for the people that follow you guys, is you guys can't be there to help people all the time because you can't be everywhere at once. So I was like, this is the way, the modern way of keeping the connection strong with everybody.
Yeah.
So that everyone around the globe can still get little bits of you guys whenever they can.
And I think that is beautiful, especially you were also saying some people can't make it.
Yeah.
Can't even move themselves to a seminar, can't afford it, can't travel, can't whatever.
Yeah, and that's what's so great about the technology of today is we can use it to replace the absence of someone, you know, in a slightly
There
low
was
resolution.
our resistance was probably because it's of this way of us of being, you know, having the physical experience and having this coming together and being whānau. So it doesn't really replace the touch and the hugs.
Never
you know,
as
there's
good.
famous hugs
And eating good food together.
and laughing together. It's not replacing it, but it does help and make you feel like, you know, Turtle, for example. He was really, remember Turtle in Knoxville?
Yeah.
He said to us, "Oh, I have watched every video of you, I don't know how many times. It's really about time to bring something new." And so he was so happy about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he said our works saved his life, and that's just helped him a lot. So I know this is going to help a lot of people.
I mean, that could segue into the next question. Is there like a common reason why people are coming to you? You know, is there hardships, people, like, you know, why? I mean, there's probably different reasons, but, you know, is there a common reason why people come into you guys?
I don't know, but I know our work is starting to come into the area of psychotherapy, which I couldn't imagine Haka going into psychotherapy, but you know, we're finding a lot of people at our mahi, at our seminars, and they're dealing with a lot of childhood trauma, and it's amazing that we're coming into that journey where these tools like Haka are helping with this process.
Yeah, psychotherapy in a different way, because like our friend is just finishing his studies, and they do art therapy as well.
Oh, cool.
And dance therapy. So I was mentioning before, in the like last night, I was speaking about Bernadette Rothschild, who wrote a book. It's called The Body Remembers, where she writes about the storing of trauma in our body, and that the movement can release such things. And so I believe that Haka can help us to move through trauma in a certain way. I mean, it's not we're not therapists, that's very clear, but we dance together, and it would add to a therapy probably in a beneficial way. I would call
almost
it like
a
that.
mentor type relationship maybe you guys have with the followers.
I think it's how would you call that? I think very different. Some people very close and like friends,
Yeah.
And some people, some people worked very hard already in their life, so they have a real, like, high spiritual standard, or some people have a real high skilled art, they have a background of dance and things like this. So we have like all sorts of different kind of people coming to our seminars. Like the youngest ones are sometimes 4 months old, and the oldest ones is 86, so there's a big variety of people.
Yeah.
And some are farmers, some are doctors, some are psychotherapists, some are cooks, some are gardeners. So you have all these different kind of people.
I mean, these like different situations or contexts, like in a Haka seminar, Waimania and I have learned to guide a group dynamic through processes, and then we come to a nice space or place, and people engage with us on that level, and then there's people we're more closely related with, or there's people who come from the other side of the world to be even more closer to us because they want.
And some people have been with us for years, so it's natural that we know them quite well, and you have observed their transformation process. You have spent, some people 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, that then you kind of know their history, and you ask them how their children are, and how you see them grow up and have their own families and things like this. There's like, then you're family somehow. It's the whānau, that we want to create.
And that's why we say, again, we love to grow with people, because if we go to a country and the older ones come to those seminars, this energy dynamic accelerates.
Yeah.
So there was one time, and we did a healing hakahangi seminar, and it was really interesting. There was a group, who have done a lot of our haka seminars together, and there was a new group, and then there was the hakarongo ayo group. So there were 3 groups, and there was a massive acceleration because the old ones teach the new ones, but then the new ones teach a lot of the old ones things, and the new ones accelerate and even learn faster, and creates the synergy, and these things are amazing to experience. So,
do you do one more question, or?
Maybe that's good enough, hey? I think that's a lot already.
Yeah. Okay.
But important was for us that we wanted to bring this in this time, especially because it's Christmas, and we have said it's good for us to visit you for Christmas in one way or another. So maybe the message that I would like to give you is everyone is very important in this world, and you are very important, and it's a beauty that you are here, and it's a beautiful thing that you have watched us, and may love and light accompany you wherever you are, wherever you go. And if you are lonely, may you feel full and happy and joyful, and may you feel that we are with you and you are with us. Come to this beautiful beach and be with us, and just enjoy time here. Hang out by the waves and the ocean and the sunshine and the wind and the birds and the cicadas.
Tūturu whakamaua kia tina.
Tina.
Au e hui e.
Tai ki e.
Haere